So here we are, May 1st, and guess what's due today? Your rent, your mortgage. If you've been out of work for the past 2 months, you don't have the money to pay the mortgage, what options do you have? So Duncan Robertson with Duncan Home Loans joining us to talk about mortgage forbearance. Duncan, good to see you. How are you?
Great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So we've gone into this
Good.
a little bit, but here we are now, the second month. Remember, April 1st was a date, and now here we are, May 1st is another date. The governor basically came forward and said, look, you cannot be evicted from your apartment. You cannot be foreclosed on right now. But this forbearance is different than forgiveness, right? First of all, let's go into this mortgage forbearance. Define it for me, would you?
So it's not forgiveness. Basically, what forbearance is the CARES Act says that, if you're in, financial hardships, you can do a forbearance for a 6-month period and then possibly another 6-month period after that. They're going to revisit that about a month into towards the end of your forbearance period in that first 6 months and see if you need another 6 months, in which case you would be able to be eligible for that. But what that does is that just defers your payments. It's not free money. The government's not paying your mortgage for you. It's not loan forgiveness. You're just allowed to miss those payments and then pay them back later.
All right, so that second part of what you just said is the trick, right? Forgiving delaying them is one thing, but let's say you've got a $1,500 a month mortgage that you're paying there. Most people are not going to have $9,000, put it that way, for 6 months,
right?
To all of a sudden come out of pocket and cut a check, right? So what happens at the end of the 6 months?
So, that's up to your individual servicer. Now, your servicer is the person or is the entity that mails you your monthly mortgage statement. So their contact information is on that bill, and they are the people to call and ask. So right now, there's no guidelines making anything uniform. So your servicer is the person who's going to give you the details on what kind of repayment plan is going to be worked out. Now, there are a lot of people out there worried that it's going to be a balloon payment, a one lump sum payment. That is a possibility. It's an option, but it's not necessarily going to happen. Again, when you talk with your servicer at the beginning of the forbearance, that's when you're going to be talking about how to work that payment out.
So your advice to people right now who are saying, look, I just don't have it. I don't have the cash to pay my mortgage. What would you do right now? You're saying to call your mortgage company first thing and tell them.
Exactly, and those are the only people that you're going to want to talk to. So watch out, because there are a bunch of scammers out there. So if you get things in the mail, somebody calls you and says, hey, you're eligible for forbearance, anything like that, avoid those scams. Be very, very, very careful. The only people you want to talk to is the company that sends you your monthly mortgage statement.
Duncan, great talking with you this morning. Thank you for the information. And yeah, it's a tough time right now for a lot of people. So hopefully these mortgage companies and landlords are going to find a way to work this thing out with the people who are paying the mortgage and for their tenants. Thank you, Duncan. I appreciate it. Salute to graduates.